Hey there, welcome to OnSet. I am Daniel Norton. Sorry for the sound of the air conditioner. It is hot in New York, though not as hot as it has been the last couple of days. Not that anybody cares about that. Anyways, today we're going to talk about kind of creating an environment with lighting. A lot of times we are in situations where we're shooting something very simple. I don't know if you can see that or not. Shooting something very simple, maybe just a plain background, or you're in a space that maybe isn't the most interesting. And we usually, right, there's two options, right? We can either just not light it and let it go dark, or light it up and we have kind of boring space. Now, a lot of times people will be like, oh, well, just use a really fast lens, autofocus, but after a while, come on, that becomes a little boring. So we're gonna talk a little bit about using light in the background to create some dimension. We'll mess around with color and texture and shape and stuff like that. And of course, we're not just shooting the background, we gotta have a subject. So right here to my right, your left would be the amazing, the fabulous, oh no, yes, Marissa Rope. Marissa's here. She's back from her world travels, and we are going to make some portraits. All right, so I will attempt to, oh, I should mention at the beginning, if you are not already following it, we have a podcast. We as in me. I have a podcast for Adorama, Avoice with Daniel Norton. There is a link in the chat, hopefully. Seth's taking care of it. Thank you, Seth. Over here on the Mighty Mix, as always, I appreciate it. I will join the podcast. It's pretty fun. We're on episode 25 now. I have a lot to say.
It's really good. I'm a fan.
Yeah, thank you.
I'm a faniel.
Faniel, yes, we got good. Marissa's a faniel. You can be a faniel too. I will attempt to just tell you all the equipment that I'm using as I go through this. If I neglect to do so, please ask in the chat and I will let you know. Good to go? All right, so let's just do this. Let's start off with, again, the most basic thing. What's that? We're going to start off with the most basic thing. I mentioned that you might just either light or not light the background, so let's light or not light the background, and then we'll play around a little bit. So Marissa's here. I've got my camera. This is a Nikon Z6 with the 24-70 lens. This is my kind of standard kit that I use. Z6ii, by the way. We don't mess around with that original Z6. Actually, this is being filmed with an original Z6. So we do mess around with the original Z6. Very nice. All right, there's Marissa. We're not gonna worry too much about it at this point. Nice vertical shot. She's framed up. The very first thing we always do is we want to evaluate our space. We wanna make sure that none of the light in the space is affecting our shot. This is so that we have control. Now later, we're gonna add some constant lights, so we'll mess around with our settings a little bit, but let's start off with settings that make the space dark. We're gonna set our shutter speed at the maximum sync shutter speed, which is 200th of a second. Yes, there is high-speed sync, but that's the advanced class. I gotta spread these things out. So we're gonna set it at 200th. We're gonna set our ISO at the lowest within the normal range, which is 100 for this camera. And then I'm gonna set my aperture at the aperture I need to get in order to get the space dark. I generally like to shoot portraits around 5.6, which works out well because I'm looking at the back of the camera. I can see that should be dark enough. But just to be sure, we'll take a picture and we'll look over here in Capture One. Here I am in Capture One. You can see my settings and stuff over here to the side. I'm gonna evaluate this image over here. Let's see. I was editing actually, so I have my stuff. All right, so I'm gonna grab my exposure slider. I'm gonna drag it over until I start to see Marissa around right there. And a little bit less than 2 stops underexposed. That's pretty good. 2 stops-ish is probably where you wanna be. That gives me some room in my shadows so that if I need to, don't make any adjustments, I'm not gonna start pulling up the terrible light in the space. Now, of course, now we have to light against this. Anything we add to the shot is ours. And I'm gonna start off using flash because flash is powerful and flash is gonna give us a lot of options. And first we're gonna start with, let's just light the space and see what it looks like with a plain background. In order to do that, I'm gonna use a relatively large light source to make a soft light on Marissa. Remember, hardness and softness of the light is based on the size of it relative to your subject. This is a 4-foot Chimera frame with a half grid cloth on it. You can get different amounts of cloth. I like half. It makes it a little bit more punchy, a little more specular, but still we're gonna have a nice soft light. This is a Profoto B10 on a C-stand. You gotta use the silver one first. That dinging sound was Marissa's phone probably. She's gonna turn it off. All right. All right, so I've got this here. One trick here is to take your light and turn on the modeling light if you have one. And you wanna make sure that you'll see, by the way, if you can see it up here, that it's a very wide spread. Because a lot of times people say, oh, these flat lights, it doesn't spread. This has got a really wide spread. We can actually see it goes way past her. So I'm gonna move it in so we can control it, right? I don't want any of that light spilling where I, you know, as little as possible spilling where I can control it. This is gonna hit our background. This 4-foot frame is gonna become our light source. So I'm just gonna do, you know, kind of classic, if you will, 45-degree from the side light. As far as metering is concerned, I'm going to use what's called TTL, through the lens metering. So I'm going to use the camera's meter for this shot. Effectively, I just set my light up, I put it in TTL metering, I point the camera at Marissa, I press the button, boom. And it should give me a decently correct exposure. Oh, look, we can see some of the light creeped past. We can see some of the light over here. All right, so again, decent, it's lit, it's sharp, it's a picture of Marissa. You might say, oh, well, picture of a pretty girl, lots of likes on Instagram. Not if you have followers that actually care about good photography, right? This is real basic. This is not the worst thing in the world. We have a light gray background. Marissa looks decent again. The light's off to the side. I could put a fill light in. We could do all kinds of things to make it nicer, but let's talk a little bit more about the background. If I want to make the background have some more dimension, I might need to flag some of the light off of it. That would be one of the first things you could do. So it's more difficult to do with a large light source, but we can get a little bit of that going. I'm gonna grab my what's that? What's up, Ab?
What's up, Ab?
Ab's here. Ab is pretty awesome. He has some videos. Actually, I just saw a new one pop up on Adorama TV. He was sitting in his office talking about, it was, my office is like a picnic table. Look at how sophisticated that. Ab's pretty awesome. Check out his videos there on Adorama TV. Parabolic video, that's Seth's favorite. All right, there we go. Okay, so as is sometimes the case, I just want to make that background more even. We can see that it's a little underexposed. If you do make a TTL exposure and it's underexposed like that, you can adjust. The simplest way with these kind of lights is to just switch to manual at this point and make an adjustment based on your experience, right? You can also do exposure compensation, but I find that when you start doing that, you might forget and then you start getting weird exposures. So I usually switch to manual. We'll turn it up a little bit, about a half a stop based on my assessment. And that gives us, again, an evenly, you know, ignoring this weird background, an evenly lit shot, kind of boring, kind of plain. There's no separation. Now, what we could do if we like this gray background is use like separation lights and stuff. But again, I want to make the background more interesting. So let's start messing with the background. I'm going to start this way. We're going to get more intense as we go because that's how we do it, right? First thing I'm going to do is I want to add some kind of texture or shape back there. I'm going to stick with using flash. And what I'm going to use here, another Chimera product, it's actually the same product, but with a different thing. This is another 4-foot frame, and this has what's called on it a cookie. Now, you can get all different, I don't know if you see my hand in there. These things come off, these plastic things. Sal?
Sal.
Whoa, Sal.
You're talking about your Mentoring Marissa series.
Oh, yes, we're going to do another one actually. So this here is a frame where you can put different cookies in it, basically, different gobos as it would be, to get some texture. This is just the one I have, so we're going to go with the kind of classic. And what we're going to do is we just want to give some texture to our light. Now, it is possible to do it with one light, but this is not the do stuff with one light video, so I'm not going to do that because, you know, again, we got to spread this out. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep it on this side because it makes it more difficult for you guys to see. No, and I'm going to take my secondary light. I'm going to kill the overheads for a second. Boop. I'm going to turn on my modeling light so you guys can see. So this is the light that's lighting up Marissa, and some of it's on the background. I'm going to take this light, which is in my B group, and what I'm going to do with it is use it to shoot through my cookie. Oh, look, we have 2 cookies. That's so fun because it's bouncing back. Isn't that fun? No extra charge for this. You see, I totally planned that. All right. So we've got our shape again. Now, one of the great things about these cookies is that you can control the size and hardness and sharpness of your background, not just with your aperture of your camera, but with the actual light. If I move the light closer, oops, to the cookie, you'll see that it gets really spread out and diffuse like that, right? Just like dappled light. If I move further back from the cookie, it will get sharper, right? So we have some control there. So I'm going to just kind of go somewhere in the middle, try to make sure none of this light's going to spread onto Marissa. It is hitting her a little bit, I think. Marissa does not need any hard light hitting from her side. What's that? Yeah, these monolights are pretty nice. You know, you could use these for shooting video. Cliff will love that I say that. All right. When I did the video for the B10s, they were like, make sure you say you could use them for video. That's my imitation of Cliff. If you guys have never seen Cliff before or heard him, you probably don't. Was that a pretty good imitation of Cliff?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
That's Cliff's voice? Wow. We must know a very different Cliff. All right, so we got the cookie back there. We're going to boom. Okay, sorry. Had to catch her in a weird moment. Go ahead. Yeah. What?
Make it clear you're not using
I am using it, though.
No, that.
This?
That.
Oh, the light back there? I am not using this light over here, so I will turn it out of the way. Oh, yeah. Oh. Or this. I didn't know you guys could see all these things.
From the overhead.
Ah.
That's the only way I can show you.
Oh, yeah, sorry. Okay, yeah, sorry, I didn't realize you were looking at those. I would have explained. Those are hot lights. We're going to mess with those later. Right now, we're sticking with this. So all we're using is the 2 Profoto flashes, and Marissa's making a funny face.
Yeah,
and what we're going to do, right, and what we're going to do here is, let's turn off this. Sorry, I had to grab that shot. It's always important to grab a shot when you can. All right, so right now I went back to TTL. I'm just going to shoot the backlight, the B light, which is the cookie light. Just want to see what we get. Okay. Oh yeah, that's kind of interesting. So what we're getting is this like textury background here. It kind of spreads out because remember it's at an angle hitting the wall, so you can actually see how it kind of wraps over like that. I kind of like that actually. Yeah, I like it. I like it on the first try. So now that we have that, I'm going to turn this head off. I'm going to turn the A light back on because I screwed it up earlier. I'm going to switch to manual. Let's make a shot with this one. Now remember that some of this A light is hitting the background. So, and we can actually see it's adding that extra cookie because the angle's coming through the other way. We have double cookie.
Double?
There's like double rainbow. We have double cookie. People don't remember double rainbow. That's a very old internet reference, I guess, or YouTube reference. All right, so now we've got what is effectively Marissa there, background texture. Let's get you when you're standing still. Good. All right, and we've got a little texture. So if we remember, I know what you're saying. You're like, Daniel, that's only very simple. Sometimes simple is all you need, right? We can add this little bit of texture back there. It just adds a little bit of depth. And we can continue to build our shot, right? We have that. We can do it as much as we like. If I keep more of the light off the background, it'll get darker. You'll see it more pronounced. If I get the light, more light on the background, it'll become less pronounced. Okay, so how can we get light off the background? Well, one of the ways of doing that would be to modify the light that's hitting the silk, because I get this question a lot. What we can do here is I can actually put something on this light so it hits less of the silk. So like, for instance, a grid. And you're probably saying, that's not what a grid is for. And hey, you know what? The grid's for whatever you want it to be for. I'm sassy today.
I'll use a grid whenever
This is my grid. I can use it how I want. Yeah, so what the grid does, right? The grid does a couple of things. It adds, it adds contrast to your light, but it also controls the spread. So if we don't want the light to go everywhere, we can put the grid on there, which will then allow us to get the light in one spot. It does eat a bit of light. So if I'm going to do this, I'm going to use the inverse square law and move this in closer. And we're just going to start here. It's probably going to be a little underexposed, but I just want to see what we get. And obviously I'm going to lose that double cookie when I do that as well. Okay, so it's dark, just like we suspected. Okay. I'm going to go, again, B I'm going to turn off, which is the background. Turn A back on. Switch it into TTL. You're going to need a lot of light here for this. Cool. There we go. Now we can see, right? We have a punchier light on her, a harder light, right? Because you might be saying, but hold on, this silk stayed the same size. Well, it did, but what happened here was only the center part of the silk is really the source now. So now we have a punchier, harder light on her. The background is dark. Now we throw it in the manual, turn that B light back on, and what we're going to get here is a little bit more contrast, right?
How much light did you lose?
All right, so how much light did we lose? I think that was on 5.5. Okay, so it went from 5.5 to 8.5, so about 1 stop, 2 stops, 3 stops. About 3 stops between putting the grid, basically putting the grid on, yeah. So now we've got a little bit more contrast if we want to do that, right? So if we want to have, I think this was the shot, right? No, I guess this was it. Nope, that one was not great. So we've got this guy here. You can see the contrast. And then this one's a bit softer and creamier. So, and you can see this. There we go. We can see that we're actually able to create effectively a little bit of texture in the background. Now at this point, we're still just kind of making a, like a portrait shot, right? Not really a whole lot going on here, but we want to bring ourselves into a mode or a feeling. We can start to tweak things, like little things, right? We could add color, we could readjust the light, add kicker lights. So let's play around a little bit. And I'm gonna add some color. And I'm gonna do that because I get this question a lot, so I think the simplest way to do it is to show it, is I'm gonna mix a constant light source. This right here, this is a Rhodolite, what's this called, EOS 2? EOS 2, which is effectively an LED light that can change color. It's an RGBW XYZ. Elemental P, yep. It does all kinds of different colors. So we're going to be able to use this to adjust our color. So let's set that up. I'm going to take down my secondary flash. Put it over here. It's in my B group. I'm going to throw this guy on here. Again, this one is a constant light source. So when I fire it up, we're going to see the light coming through. Now we can see this has got a really wide spread on it, so I'm going to need to be careful and move it real close to my cookie to get what I want. You know, that's something you don't hear very often. But of course, putting it close to the cookie is going to change the contrast, so we'll see what we can get here. We're going to play around. We're in uncharted waters here.
It's also a diffused light.
It's super diffused, so I may have to take this diffuser off. Yeah, I do. Probably should have done that to start with. All right. All right, it's got a diffuser on the front that's held on by that little pin that I just dropped underneath. I took the diffuser off.
It's like a water bottle.
Yeah. Oh, interesting. Wow. Okay. That's like static. So what's happening here is an LED light like this
Light source.
is a whole bunch of small sources. It's not one single source. So each of those sources is like, what? What? I totally did this on purpose. All right, so let's do this. Let's see what we get. All right, so for now, I'm going to turn it up. It doesn't seem very bright. Let's see. Nope, that's 100%. Okay, so it's up all the way. I guess we're going to go with, let's see. I like that color. This is a warm color. Oh, that's really interesting. All right, so we've got this in the background. Wow, okay. We're going to try it. It might be too far out of focus. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to take my camera and adjust the shutter speed.
You want to do the live view so you can see it?
Yes, that's a good idea. Thank you, Seth. All right, so this is what we call, we're doing trapeze without, okay, so we can see here, we got some problems, but we're gonna see what we can do. Because she looks super orange. So, so I'm just adjusting my shutter speed to get the background, right? I mean, she's like orange. Okay. So I'm just looking at it. It's gonna be kind of soft, but let's see. Okay.
Well, I'll
Sorry.
bring something.
Whoa.
Oh, you're also fighting into the
I fired the one on the table as well. Yeah, I forgot to turn that one off. Perfect. Yeah, I'll turn it off from here. All right, so I shot my flash that was on the table. I just turned it off there. Okay, so here we've got this like interesting dappled. That's really weird and interesting. I'll use interesting multiple times when I don't know what else to say.
Fascinating.
Fascinating, interesting. It's too scattered to really feel like anything. It just looks like my paper's dirty. So I think what I'm going to do is use a gel instead, right? Not every tool is going to be good for everything. So, what's that? There might be a grid for it. I do not have one. They do make soft boxes and stuff for it. This is the only thing I have, so we got to work with what we got, right? All right, so I'm taking the grid off my main light because I need the holder. I'm going to put a gel on my B light. And we're going to switch this rotolite out for now for a gelled flash. Let's go back to where we were. So step one, we're going to retool. All right. All right, so we're throwing this guy up here. Boom, boom, boom.
What are the best continuously point source lights for sharp shadows?
Oh, that's a good point. So for sharp shadows, you're going to want a light that you can focus. So something like with a Fresnel lens would be nice. A dado light, which I'm going to show later, which has a spherical lens. Typically, you're not going to want a single, or you're not going to want one of these LED panels. You're going to want an LED unit that's more like what this strobe looks like. Something that's got a smaller, tighter body, compact body, that has like a hard source. Like, what's that one that you have that the one that's the real powerful one that you use to light yourself in the videos?
720p, the nan light?
The nan light, right? Like a nan light or one of those. Those would also be pretty good. Anything that's got basically one element in the front and not a whole bunch of little ones. And it's got to be small so that it's hard. Because remember, hardness, softness is based on size relative to the subject. Size relative to the subject. All right. I put my warming gel on here. I've gone back to where I was on the front light, which I'm actually going to turn off for a second. Let's get the background. I just want to get some texture on the background here. All right, so we're going to try this. This is, again, just the background with just flash now. I've kept my shutter speed slow, which means we're probably going to pick up, yeah, a little bit of light in the front. Okay, that's good. That is not nearly warm enough. Let's go for it. All right, I'm gelling the heck out of this thing. This is two CTOs, so 2 color temperature oranges. There we go. So kill this for a second so we get an actual exposure back here. All right. Good. There we go. All right. This is what we get, okay? Because remember I was talking about separating the subject, right? If you do not separate the subject from the background, what you're going to get is bleed, which is what we have here, right? We've got this large source in the front that's beautiful and soft, but the problem is it's hitting the background, so we're losing that like really dark, like powerful background that we get there. So what we're going to do is switch our light in the front.
You're making a mess. What are you doing?
No, I did not bring, I thought I had a softbox out here. All right, I do not have a softbox. I'm going to do the classic Daniel live stream and walk off the set for a second. And here I go. I'm off the set. I'm in the shelf. Don't worry about it. Here we are. Okay. Boom. Seth did it. Seth got it done. Okay. Beauty dish. Typically, I reserve this for when we want to make somebody beautiful, but I guess we have no choice. All right. So I'm going to switch to the beauty dish. So the beauty dish is going to do a few things for us. It's a smaller source, so it's going to be punchier and harder, which means basically I need to move it closer. Moving it closer to her in order to get it soft. Moving it closer is going to make it softer. It's also going to make the fall off more dramatic, which means the background is going to be darker, relatively speaking, which means that we're going to have more true color on the background. All right, we'll start here. I have a feeling it's in my shot. No, it's not. Okay. So we're going to, again, kill the B light. I'm gonna come back to the main light again, turn it on. This is the beauty dish. Boom. Right? That's what we're looking for. Oh no, I still have a slow shutter speed. Okay, hold on, sorry about that, guys. I'm going back to 5.6, 200th of a second. We're gonna ignore the interior light for a second. There we go. There we go. All right, so now look at what we got. Basically, it's a little overexposed, but effectively the background's black where it's not, it's got a little bit from the side of the beauty dish. So I'm gonna go like this. I'm gonna turn that guy back on. B, head, manual. Okay, I'm turning down the main light in the front by half a stop. I'm turning back on the background light. I'm gonna turn on the modeling light for the background light to make sure it's not hitting Marissa still. It's not, okay, good. So now let's see what we got with this. We can see the difference here. Boom, all right. Now we've got something going here. And I haven't even drank even a third of my coffee yet. Now no longer is Marissa standing in a white studio space. Now she's out under the stars as the world is ending. Or on Mars or something, I don't know, it's very orange, right? So we've got this whole thing. Now you might be looking at this and going, Daniel, there's a little bit of a slash along the side. I did that on purpose. Seriously, you could get rid of it, but I find that when you're building texture, sometimes it's fun to have it not cover the whole background. So the next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna actually manipulate the background frame to see if we can get this to feel a little bit less complete.
Did you just say nebulate?
Nebulae? I might have.
Did you say nebulate?
I say a lot of things. Nobody's really sure what I'm saying, and that makes it okay.
It looks more like she's like inside, like something's beating through some like leaves on a branch or something.
Right? It's really interesting, right? It's got, right, exactly. It's got a really cool dapple to it. So what I'm actually gonna do with this is move it closer to the
Stranger Things, yeah, I can see that.
Stranger Things, there you go.
Oh, true.
I'll take that.
I will take that.
All right, I'm just giving myself a little bit more background here. Now again, part of this is that she is, oh sorry.
Wait, like world ending? Okay.
Yeah. But in charge.
But in charge, okay.
You're facing it. You're facing it with all the power of a true princess of Mars. All right. There we go. Right? And then we've got some power. So I gave it this even, because again, now you notice, right? Because I say this, but I like to make sure it's, you see how by adding that little bit to the side, it's like she's somewhere, right? A little bit of shadow makes a big difference to say, why is this light only hitting this area here and then it goes dark? Where is she? Why is that being blocked there? Is this an entrance to a building, a balcony? Is that the side of something? That little bit of shadow starts to add a little depth and feeling to it without getting over the top. Now, I still think she's a little bit hot, so I'm going to go up into my A light, and I'm just going to dial it down 2/10. So now, because, we never stop at good enough, the rule for all lighting is to shoot until it gets bad, and then finish, stop. Once it starts getting bad again, then you go back. Now I'm going to take out that constant light. Let's take a peek and see what we can do with this.
They're all over the place.
Uh-oh.
Princess Leia, total recall.
There we go. All right, so, yes. Jump onto Twitter right now and tweet what you think Marissa looks like. Take a screenshot, tag her, Roper Marissa, and Adorama, and you'll win nothing except for the pride of knowing that you did it. You'll win the love of Daniel. For the love of Daniel. All right, so, anyways. I'm doing it. I am obsessed with color changing LEDs. All right, so we're gonna take this. Now, it wasn't the right tool for our purposes before, but now we're gonna try it again because I will not give up. We've got this really intense warm light coming from outside. We can add some, you can't see me. I should have a light following me. We're gonna add some separation. I'm gonna try something. I'm gonna add some light from behind her. I'm gonna start, now she's neutral, right? You always want something neutral in the shot. I actually think I might add a little warmth to her, but I will start without, first we'll go the other way. I'm gonna add coolness to a background light. What I wanna do is make some kind of dimension, right? So not a background light, but a backlight rather. So I'm gonna jump in here with my Rotolight EOS 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 light, and someday I'll learn the names of these things. And I'm gonna turn to the little blue. Hold on. One of these makes it turn. Hold on. Filter. Oh, it's touchscreen, that's why. All right, I'm gonna turn it to
One of these things does something.
primary blue. All right, wow, that is very blue. Now this looks like, the cool thing about working with constant lights, I gotta keep this off the background, yeah. All right, so we wanna make sure, right, now if you look at this, right, that's bad. It's bad because it's hitting the background, that's gonna saturate into our light. So we're gonna turn it until we get it off the background as much as possible. I may have to, we might even try to get one of those lens flares again. That was really fun last time. I might have to use a flag here. All right, so I've got this thing cranking, right? Because compared to flash, you know, constant light source is just not bright, right? So I've got it cranking so I don't have to go too slow on my shutter speed. I'm gonna jump, whoa. I'm gonna jump in here and I'm gonna take a look. So again, we'll do the same thing, right? This is our exposure with flash. That looks nuts. All right, so that's the actual exposure. That's what you're getting out of that thing full power. It's actually not too bad. This is 200th of a second. I'm gonna go down to, see, I'm dialing my shutter speed down. Okay, I think that's okay. I might still wanna flag the background, but okay, we're good there. So now that I have that, I've got a slower shutter speed.
Focus.
Yeah, well, it's having trouble because the LED is hitting it. Oh, it was out of focus, sorry. Good, good, good. All right. All right, good. All right, so, by the way, you may not have noticed, but that blue is the exact same color as Marissa's eyes. Thank you, thank you. I'll be here again in 2 weeks.
That color in her hair.
It's exactly that color.
Question is, can you put black foil on the LED to better control the light?
You can definitely put foil or use a flag to control the LED. The only issue with the multi-point source light is that you might get what's called picket fencing, or if you look right at it like I just did, you might be blind. And what it means is you get a lot of like weird shadow, like how we saw that dappled light in the background. So you just gotta be careful about that. However, in this case, I think using a flag might help. So I think we're still kicking a little bit onto the background. I just wanna see. Now, I think what's happening is some of the light, yeah, it's bouncing forward, right? Yeah, some of the light is bouncing forward and just coming back. So without more space, this is basically what I got. It's not huge, but it definitely is affecting the background a little bit. But I'm okay with it. I'm feeling it. I'm feeling it. Are you feeling it? I'm feeling it. Cool. All right. I still think that she should be a little bit warmer because she is in fact looking into whatever's going on, right? It needs to make sense. So I could put a gel on that light too, not a full gel. We don't want her to look orange. She's not an orange person of Mars. Although, maybe you would be if you were the princess.
How slow are you shooting?
Like 100th of a second, or 80.
I wonder if you just did the warm modeling light.
Yeah, thank you. All right, so Seth's got a good idea. I'm gonna turn the modeling light on here. One great thing about the B2s is, or B10 is that, you know, this modeling light can be different color temperatures. So I'm gonna turn it all the way down to tungsten. And that should, let's turn the other light off so we can, whoop. Let me just kick that, it's okay. All right, we can see this is a bit warm. I don't know if you can see it or not, but I can see it. That's a bit warm, perfect. So, because I'm doing a slow shutter speed, let's just shoot with these two lights first. Because I'm doing a slow shutter speed, it should pick this up a little bit. Now I know what you're saying. Oh yeah, perfect. See how it catches a little bit of warmth to it.
I think you're supposed to shoot the strobe on the key light.
I am.
Yeah.
You don't want me to shoot the strobe. If I don't shoot the strobe, it won't pick up at all.
No.
Yeah, it's gonna wash it out a bit, but I think we're getting a little bit of warmth. You can actually look. Okay, hold on, I'm gonna dial my shutter down a tiny bit more. What I wanna do is pick up I'll probably show you. Let me show you this. It'd be nice if there was a button over here that did this. Okay, so we can see again, if I take my strobe out of the picture, this warm light is what I'm getting now, right? Does the one light go off when you?
I just shut it off.
Okay, yeah.
The dim.
I was in the mode where it dims when you're in between shots. We don't want that. All right, so here we go. We'll see. We're trying it. We're experimenting here. Oh yeah, I think that's adding a little bit. It's small, but it's adding a little bit of warmth. So that gets us there. Oh, that's almost. What was that painter?
Rembrandt?
Almost.
I think it would be Rembrandt.
It could be. We could try to get a Rembrandt. Who wants to watch us for an hour try to get the perfect Rembrandt? I'm working so hard to get Seth to do a Rembrandt rant, but it's not working so far.
A Rembrandt.
A Rembrandt. We're going to call it Rembrandt. I love it. We have coined a new phrase. Marissa is the pun champion of, where was that, Alabama or something?
2018.
There we go. Just that little bit of warmth. And now we're telling a story, right? Remember we started, by the way, I learned this from Seth. You have to always go back and show people the original bad picture. That's where we started. You were like, oh, I'll put a pretty girl on my Instagram and get a lot of likes. I'd be good to go. With a little bit of thought and planning, we can create an image that has some depth and space. It feels like she's somewhere. And based on a request from Fernando, it's not dark. Daniel, we know that you like to take dark pictures, but could you take one that's not dark? Sure. There you go. It's not dark. I love you, Fernando. All right. Sorry. It's just, I am a dark person. All right, so now let's play with some more lights because we got some time. That's cool.
I'm asking if you can do one with the strobe a little turned down.
Oh, you think she's too bright? Okay. That I can do. Oh, don't move. That was good. Go this way with your face. Too much. Boom, right there. Hold. Actually, just turn the faces a little bit this way. A little more. Boom, stop. Collaborate and, oh, sorry. Okay. All right, here we go. Strobe turn down, half stop. There is no little with me. Half a stop is all you get. There we go. Oh, even nicer. Thank you for the request. Oh, did I nail that?
It's kind of Rembrandt-y.
A little bit.
Don't you start.
All right.
Rembrandt.
Space, time, a little bit darker. Good to go. Let's play with, so we can see it better, right? So that's cool, because strobe, you got a lot of power, you have a lot you can play with, but we can also use constant lights to create shape and have a little bit more power, a little more control. So let's jump over here. I'm going to do a quick little reset. Actually, I need a new profile picture, so I'm going to set up a lighting here so that Marissa can take a picture of me.
Doing it that way.
You think? Is that a good one for me?
Yeah. Actually, for you, it would be even better.
All right. Sorry, guys.
Get it, Marissa.
Okay.
Get
Right.
it.
All right.
Hit the button.
Don't rush me. I'm an artist.
Nice.
Oh.
Fine. All right, good. Not bad, not bad. I'll take that. I'm available for bar mitzvahs and weddings. No, I'm not actually. Well, maybe. I don't know. What are you paying? If you pay me enough, I'll do it. No, okay.
Wait, will you model for my bar mitzvah?
Yes, I will model for your bar mitzvah. I was thinking more of like a stand-up comic. No?
You know, you got his nose hair to glint perfectly.
Yes, that's not, you know, it's not easy. My nose hair is one of the trickiest things you can photograph. All right, so let's come back in here and let's turn off our strobe lights to save some battery. We're going to rebuild this using all textured light because, I don't know, I got you here, so you might as well do it.
Because why not?
I'm going to start with this thing. This is it. Remember somebody asked earlier? You remember that, guys, right? Somebody did actually ask. Usually, like, we have to, you know, when we're doing these videos and stuff, we have to, like, pretend like somebody asked something so we could explain it. You know how that guy asked, but no, somebody does. If you want to point a hard light to give shape and texture for cookies, you want something like that. Small and focusable. This is a data light, DLED 7, I think. I'm going to put it through this projector because I'll show you kind of what you can do here. This is going to give us a little bit more control, or a lot more control, over the shape of our background elements. So I'm going to put this here. It's a constant light. This is an LED. It's not battery powered. So you will need power for this, and it's not tremendously bright. So these are things we got to factor in. Now you can get 4 strobes. Who makes that? Was it Westcott that makes the?
Question for Marissa.
Oh.
How do you keep your poses from becoming redundant?
Oh.
Do I do that?
I can't hear you unless you yell at me as Michael.
How do you keep poses from being redundant?
I feel like my poses are kind of redundant.
I was born this way.
Because Daniel's such a good director.
Thank you. Thank you. That is a good question. So I will answer that as not Marissa. You need to remove the word pose from that. Right? That's it. People should just feel comfortable in front of the camera and make them feel comfortable and they won't be redundant. When you get somebody in front of the camera that starts going like this, or you're buying that pose book from somebody that tells you this is how they do it, that's when you get stiff pictures and they look redundant.
You don't want to buy a posing guy?
I also think it's really helpful if you can imagine different characters or situations.
Oh, what character were you imagining there?
Well, I was a little sleepy, but I can do it.
The sleepy character. All right, so we've got this Windows in the background. Not Windows 95, not Windows 10, not, I don't know the Windows system side. Okay, so, but we can, what the projector will allow us to do is to focus or defocus our light. So if we wanted to shoot, let's say at f11, where everything's sharp in the room, but we wanted to show, wanted to make it feel like it was more space behind her, I could knock it out of focus a bit, and that way it gives us some more depth. So we can play around with that. This also, I have color temperature control, so I'm just gonna come in and tweak this thing to the warm side. So no gels, right? We're easy there, easy peasy. That's gonna give us a window into time. So I'm gonna look through the window.
All right, give me a character.
All right.
You want to keep the overheads up?
Give Marissa a character.
You want to keep the overheads up?
For now, we will keep the overheads up, yeah, because I'm gonna build.
Exhausted wife of a madman from 1962.
All right, exhausted wife of a madman, 1962.
You know, from the ad.
Oh, wow, that's actually really good. So now, because Seth gave this really good character idea, now we need the lights on, sorry. Well, I'm not gonna shoot it yet. Well, yeah, do that, yeah, exactly, perfect, thank you. Okay, so because gave that really good idea, I'm not gonna do what I was gonna do. But instead, now I can see this, right? We wanna add stress, we wanna add sadness. I'm getting dark here, right? We wanna add this mood. There's Marissa, she's just a silhouette. What can we do to make this work? If we want to give her something that feels more real, we can't put a pretty light on her face. It's not gonna work. We've got to put the light so it feels like it's coming from the right direction. So I'm gonna take my beauty dish and I'm gonna swap sides. And actually I'm just gonna use this as a constant light. Wow, Cliff would love this. All right. And we're going to go ahead and do that sideways kind of, yeah. And I'm gonna just kiss this here. Let's see from the front. Okay, good, we're getting there. Wow, what is that sound?
That is an ambulance that can't get through the wall.
There's an ambulance that cannot get through. Guys, if you're outside right now, please let the ambulance through.
All that awesome construction.
All right, I'm going to turn the modeling light to daylight so it's correctly balanced. Again, you don't want everything to be the same. And I'm gonna come in here and I'm gonna throw it. I'm gonna take B. The B light's back there. I'm not gonna use it. I'm gonna turn it off. The A light is in the front, which is the beauty dish. I'm gonna turn that one on. I'm gonna put it into TTL, and it's gonna be way too bright probably because it's coming from the back. But we're gonna start there. Okay, way too bright, as I said. Mood is good, looks too bright. All we have to do now is throw it into, the reason for that is because when you're using TTL, the camera is trying to make a proper exposure of what's in front of you. So when the light's coming from the back, it's going to overexpose. This is pretty standard. So this doesn't mean it's doing it wrong. It just means you have to understand how to work with it. Okay, there we go. So now we're getting something, again, that has space, depth. I think the background windows are too small. I'm gonna back them up. Back that window up. Wasn't that a song, popular song? Back that window. Nope, nope, I'm not doing it. All right, here we go. Take a half step this way. Good. I'm getting her in the right spot so she has room to breathe. Okay, so she's in the scene. There's mood, there's a window, you know, stuff like that's going on. Seth could go in there with a knife like he did last time we did a window.
She needs a, you know
What?
Do the copper bounce in the shadow.
The what? Proper?
Copper.
Copper. Oh, copper bounce. Okay. Yes, that's a very good idea. So Seth's going to add a bounce card with copper.
I don't know how.
We're going to try it.
I don't know what a frame line is.
Okay, I'll tell you. Yeah, you're good. You're not in. Good. Let's see. This one's a little bit punchy. Oh, nice.
Right? Looks like wood floor, right?
Yeah, that looks like a wood floor. How very Joe McNally of you.
Thank you. I consider myself a disciple.
Yes. All right, so Seth added the copper reflector. If you want to see one of these being made, you can go to his YouTube channel. Yeah, you can go to Last Ex-Witness on YouTube, and he'll show you how to make one of those. Good. Or you can join his Patreon.
I don't have a Patreon. No.
You can't join. You cannot join his Patreon. All right, so.
Look at her shoulder, though. Look at her shoulder in that. And
Yes.
It's so good with that mount.
Wow, that really. I had a smoothie and it just completely like. All right, there we go. Yeah, look at her shoulder. Very nice. Well done, Seth. Well done. All right. For all you haters out there, no, I'm just kidding. No, there we go, right? Again, real quick, using this. Now, you could just do it with flash, obviously, if you had the projector for a flash, but I happen to have this one. It works really well. I can change the color. I'm using the Beauty Dish because I had it here. My plan originally was to use a hard constant light, but again, you use what you got, right? We can make things work. Now, the other thing we could do is we could take this, let's actually take, well, all right, we got that one too easy. That was too easy. I don't know, when we did things too easy, I feel like, you know, I feel like we did something wrong. All right, any questions or anything while I switch this up? Let's do one more quick.
If you can add some haze.
Add some haze.
So, why? Because she smokes.
Haze?
What haze is inside of a house?
Oh, you have cigarette?
Okay, so the only issue with adding haze is that in order for it to feel like it's doing anything really and not just be cheeseball, is it's got to be going through light to give beams of light. And so you might be able to get it from that light in the back, but I don't think. We try it. I'm not going to put it between the light and her. That's way too close to her, and I don't do that.
Right. What do you want to do? The projection?
See if we can get it through the projector. I think it won't. It's too spread by the time it gets there, I think. But you can try it.
Well, I think that you don't have enough dark space for it to show.
Yeah, there's not enough dark space, exactly. But we could try it. You need space for the haze to show. Plus, the light's coming from the wrong direction. I mean, it's just not going to be easy. Yeah, let's do it.
Where do you want to spray it?
Behind her.
Back way? Okay.
Yeah, let's see if we can get it through the back. We might have to add a light behind her. It's basically the way to get it, but we'll see.
Hang on, don't cheat it.
Oh, I got to kill the light in the space. Oop. Seth's filling the space with haze so I can suffocate. No, I'm not shooting yet. I'm just looking. Wow, okay. Boosh. Okay, here we go.
Give it a second.
We're letting it haze up because we don't want it to look like the house is on fire. We just want it to... Oh. Oh, Marissa.
Sorry, but I
Really?
flew out of the way, sir.
I know, but we wanted that. Oh, God.
You want this? Is this what you want?
No, I hate it.
Wait. Not bad, Dan.
Not terrible.
But there's no haze because there's no dark.
There's no haze because there's no place for it to show up. Wow, they're really sharp, too. It really, that punchy light really grabs it. We might be able to get some haze if we made the background darker. Seth's in there doing it. Can you do my hair as well?
So much static on top of your head.
I am going to add one more light because I just want to see what will happen. All right.
What about adding a fill with half CTO?
Okay, instead of the reflector, adding a fill?
I think the reflector does enough.
You could do that. It really depends on what you're doing. I find that sometimes the reflector is just the right thing to do.
Also, you got a lot of light in here. It's just going to bounce around.
Yeah. Because remember, anytime you add a fill that is,
You want to haze that light?
that's what I'm thinking, yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Should I tweak it to blue though? Let's see. For contrast, no, let's just go full warm. Yeah, let's do warm.
Oh, amber, yeah, like
Yeah. I'm gonna turn it up a smidge. I'm just trying to look at it on her body. Yeah, how's that look exposure-wise? Is it doing anything? It's hard to read back
yeah, you
here.
got a hair light and a tiny glint on the shoulder.
Okay, that's what I want. Let's see if we can pick it up. We're hoping to get the air to go warm. Yeah.
You want to do the hair thing?
Well, let's just try first with the... Oh yeah, what we got there was a flare. That's actually not bad. If you like the autofocus Hollywood vibe, I guess. I think we got it a little bit there. Yeah, it's really not picking up, guys. It's just not, like the first one it does, like there it is right there.
You can do the same thing doing this.
Yeah. Exactly.
You could.
That's very David Hamilton. Yeah, so you can see it here. We're getting a little haze in the air, but all we're doing is filling the space with smoke that's not really gonna work. In order for smoke to work, and Marissa actually did a video, right? Marissa did a video on my channel on how to shoot smoke. And you gotta have light behind it, right? Isn't that what, that's what we, light behind the smoke, dark. That way you're putting a bright thing in front of a dark background. My background is lit, so it's not really gonna ever show up right. It's just gonna make her look smoky. And I don't want it in front of her because it doesn't make any sense for it to be in front of her.
Two people are asking if you can do the scene, but as a silhouette.
Oh, without her?
Yeah.
Without her lit? No, no.
With me, just.
Yeah, without the strobe. Sure. Yes, that I 100% can do. All right, so look all moody because it's a silhouette now.
Well, maybe I'll do profile.
A little bit, yeah. There we go. Let's see. Yeah. Boom. Oh, interesting.
I think we got
That's
the windows higher or low.
exactly. I was gonna say we might want to make the window higher or low. No, I'll bring the window up so you can, because I like you with the good posture.
Yeah.
So stand straight. I'm gonna move the window up. So what we're gonna do here, guys, is we're gonna bring the window up
You
higher.
got that Mrs. Draper hair going on.
Yeah, we don't want to cut off the top of her hair. Nobody cuts off the top of anybody's head ever.
No, that's called,
That would be terrible. Bad photography.
it's called Daniel Dated.
I don't know why I'm doing it this way. I'll just do this. Boom. There we go. Okay. There we go. Yep. Project your neck like a chicken. Good. Yeah. Although now it looks unnaturally high, unfortunately. So you know what we gotta do? No, you're good. What we'll do is, it looks unnaturally high to me, so I'm just gonna go like that. Watch this, guys. If you've been watching the video this long and you've held out this long, now you realize why right now in this moment. You're about to learn something that is beyond any technique you've ever learned before. You get ready, guys? Yeah, are you on the overhead camera?
No.
All right, here we go. Oh!
What?
Yes, I know. I'm here every week. Not really, every other week. All right, here we go. All right, take half a step backwards.
Let them know the link for that atmosphere spray is in the shot.
Sorry, what's what? Link for the atmosphere spray is in the chat, which is what Seth's using right now. Yeah, this is great.
That looks good.
That's good. I just want to stay exactly where you are, Marissa. I just want to move. I don't like that wide seam is right where her lips are. So I'm going to raise it up a little bit. I hope that's going to make a difference. I'll probably just have to have you move your head slightly as well as we do it. Okay, let's look. All right, turn towards me to the profile. No, sorry, profile rather. Yeah, it goes. Perfect like that. Project your chin. Good. Nice. Yeah, there we go. All right. Oh, now it's across her nose, but whatever. You get the point. And the other thing we can do, just to show you guys, because of course I mentioned it, I might as well show it. I'm going to drop this down lower. Is I can take this and go, oh man, I didn't buy a f2.1.2 lens, but I can fake it.
Fake it on a budget. That's
Exactly. And there's your out of focus background,
Nice.
which is also pretty cool. So you got in focus. This is a noir. Thank you,
I'm
Seth.
your biggest fan.
Seth admits he's a fanule. This is actually really nice and a great idea. However, I think she just needs a little bit more. So what I'm going to do is not use the flash, but just turn on the modeling light here.
You know, it'd be cool if there was like a out of focus LED clock in the lower left corner, like
An out of focus LED clock.
in the lower left corner.
Do you want me to still express?
No, turn this way.
What do you want me to look like?
This way, right there. Hold.
Get that eyelash.
I'm trying to get it. There we go. Oh, sorry, Fernando. We went dark.
But that's cool.
That dark side.
Oh,
Yeah.
I look like a murderer.
The only thing is, fix this hair here, project your chin so we get full silo.
Damn.
Yeah, nice and short. All right.
Get it, girl.
Okay, here we go, here we go. Boom. There we go. All right, there we go. We got the shape of the face. She's looking sleepy. So that's the trick, guys.
Let's
Keep-
your hand up into here.
Yeah, all right, good. Bring your hand up, because it's always good to have your hands up. Get it, get it, get it, get it. Chin out, chin out, chin out like a chicken. Here we go. Chicken, 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 chicken. Boom. Losing yourself in your, okay, so in order to see the hand, I'm gonna have to move the whole, you're good. You're actually good. Stay exactly as you are. Bring your hand back up. Sometimes we gotta move the camera, move it a little closer to you. There you go, perfect. Good. That's nice, that's nice. Here we go. Throw this hair back or project your chicken and turn. Nope, right side. You're right, yep.
Oh,
Yeah, because it's a silhouette, so I'm losing the side of your chin there. Yep. Okay. Yeah, there we go. Looking, looking. Here we go. Focus. Boom.
Now you just need to hold a pair
Nice.
of bloody scissors and we're good.
Okay, no bloody scissors. We're good. But that is very nice.
Good, man.
You're on fire.
Look at
right?
this, Dan, you're back. Look at you.
He's back.
Look at that. Where you been?
Daniel
Look at this guy.
You know, don't
Look at
call.
that, even room on a thumbnail for a title. Look at this guy.
This is for next time. Fernando's going to say that's way too dark. I'm just going to say that right now.
Wait, we need a weapon. We need like a knife or some scissors.
Marissa needs no weapon.
Just my hand.
All right. So, any questions, thoughts, concerns? You can send a self-addressed stamped envelope to 42 West. All right, guys. So the takeaway here, hopefully there's a takeaway, is that you don't necessarily need elaborate spaces to shoot. And it's great when you go into a cool hotel or you rent a space that's got couches and funky stuff and all that stuff, like we did that one vintage thing. That's awesome, right? But a lot of times you're just shooting against a roll of paper or in your house or against a blank wall. You can still add depth. Don't just stop at, let's light the subject. Let's add some light to the scene to make it mean something. Give the subject something to sink into, to have a role, and that will help it not be, what was it, stagnant? Was that the word I used?
Oh.
Boring? It'll help the posing. I swear. We'll edit that part out. In any case, I am Daniel Norton. You can follow me, Daniel Norton Photographer, here on YouTube. Don't forget about the podcast, A Voice with Daniel Norton. Boy, I'm naming a lot of stuff. Seth's Last Ex-Witness everywhere. Marissa Roper. Follow us. Follow Adorama. Ring the bell. I'll be back in 2 weeks. I think Gavin will be here next week, probably, or something.
What?
Usually not here.
Oh.
Yeah, almost every Thursday on Adorama. At this time, there's going.
He's next to me. Gavin might be.
No, both. Both.
Do you see how she totally bailed on me? So Gavin, well, forget it, Daniel. Hey, listen, I don't blame you. So yeah, check out Adorama. Put Thursdays on your schedule again. We're going to be streaming almost every Thursday. Also, there's a live event in the store. If you guys are coming to New York City, when's that? 22nd. We're bringing back live events. Seth's going to kill it in the store. That's not streaming. So get to New York, buy something, so that they keep doing them, and be excellent to each other.
Oh, yeah.
Party on.
You're a dismounter.
My dismounts.